The world was filled with joy and laughter. The stories were told, the curses undone, the kingdoms cheered as wedding bells rung. But there are some not filled with glee, who sneer at endings happily. In a broken castle they plot and stew. The villain's tale is not yet through.
They say that endings are always happy. The truest of love will save the day. But when it's all taken from you, you're left with nothing to do but wait for the day to make someone pay.
I was once the mistress of all that's evil. They whisper my name and quiver with fear. The battle was won, they thought that the story was done. But patience, my dears, I've only just begun.
An eye for an eye, a wrong for a wrong.
Never forgive,
Never forget.
This is your last regret.
what goes around comes around.
I was once the most powerful being on earth. Undone by a wish in the blink of an eye.
My entire life was ruined, all because of a shoe. The time is now, you'll get what's coming to you. They say that there's sides to every story. The one that is black and one that is white.
We take it and break it, we pillage and plunder. We do what we like. Cause we have a wrong, we have to set right.
Now, what if I told you there was a way to undo the moment your troubles began?
Speak.
What if Snow White never found that little cottage? What if Aladdin never found that lamp? What if Prince Philip never met Aurora? What if little Cindy never had no fairy godmother?
How?
Why, with a little help from my friends on the other side. An eye for an eye, a wrong for a wrong.
Never forgive, never forget. This is your last regret.
What goes around comes around.
One thing more and all is done to turn back time, the moon and sun.
Undo fates by endings told.
Tip the scales of the brave and bold.
Fruit of the fairest.
Never talk. Plucked from a pirate ship covered in fog.
Blood of a spindle we add to the brew.
Let heroes be silent.
Fault lies with you!
For an eye, a wrong for a wrong. Never forgive, never forget.
Off with the head!
What goes around comes around.
Ever since I was a girl, my own mother vowed I must find the way to power through a noble brow. I married once for love, then my senses came. I must marry for the stature of my husband's name. On to marriage number 2, I knew what I had to do. My poor husband fell ill in a year or 2. Solved problem number 1, now to problem number 2. His doe-eyed little girl with a gentle point of view. Would I ship her off to school? No, I told her if she stayed, then she'd have to earn her keep. And so she became the maid.
She was lazy. She was crazy. She was talking to the mice.
She was hopelessly naive, so she had to pay the price. I moved her to the attic, out of sight and out of mind. I could have thrown her out, but I'm benevolent and kind.
Mother, your heart's too big for you.
I knew what I had to do. After all, difficult children will take advantage of your good nature. So you lock them up, throw away the key. There's one on every family tree.
Ungrateful, hateful, vile too. The things she put you through.
Break their spirit so they obey. Now they'll do anything you say. Maybe you call it cruel, but for perfection in all things.
Oh no, they're so cute when they're little, but then they grow up and just ruin everything. I never wanted children. Life was better on my own. All the screaming, nagging chilled me to the bone. But then one day I came across a flower growing free. Its magic kept me young, so I kept it all for me. But someone dug it up. Now a baby held the power, so I borrowed her and locked her up and hid her in a tower. Years went by, all the sacrifice, and against my better judgment, I fed her once or twice. Teenagers now, I know I wild eat their young, but that's messy. Manipulation's easily more fun. A little guilt, a lot of force, of course you have to lie. Remind them that without you, they'd shrivel up and die.
They only had themselves to blame. If you'd been there, you'd do the same. So work them hard till they fall in line. There's one way and it's only mine.
Children are lazy, spoiled too, but we know what to do. Govern them with a heart of stone. Lock them up so they're all alone.
Maybe you'd call it cruel, but
Others would call it love, tough love.
Oh, her own tower with a water view, and she runs away the first chance she gets.
These wretched brats think the world owes them something, but it doesn't. Far and wide, I rule the kingdom with a heavy hand. But there was more I had in mind, a greater plan. I never cared to share, so the king would have to fall. But his child blocked the way to me, and fairest of them all. She was chubby, she was dumb, and grotesquely optimistic. She needed structure in her life, she wasn't realistic. I gave her chores and took away the things that she'd enjoy. But then I caught her singing songs with birds and then a boy. Love? Was I to just sit by and wait for her to take my crown? No, she had sealed her fate. She had to go, and so she did, and you know what they say. An apple once a day keeps your enemies away. Don't be fooled by their tender smile.
Give an inch
And they'll run a mile. Our idea of a happy home is one where we live all alone. Dark, depressing, desolate. Now let's all drink to that.
Call us wicked, call us mean.
Cruel and everything in between.
you could say it's unjust.
Turning their dreams to dust. This is what we call love, tough love.
You're saying you know the way to undo all the wrongs we've endured?
I don't believe him. He's hiding something.
Let him speak.
I warn you, this had better not be a waste of our time.
No games, Doctor.
I do love games. How about a game of croquet?
This man is a fraud. I know the kind. He's like those cursed gypsies. They're all thieves and liars.
I won't sit here and be insulted. Evening, y'all. Would have been fun. Your loss. Pardon me, Muscles, but I got business with a certain princess.
Sit back down.
Yes. If what you say is true, then we are indeed indebted to you. Bring him.
Whoa, whoa, easy, friend. My, you got biceps to spare.
And not a bit of me's scraggly or scrawny. And every last inch of me's covered in...
Silence! My patience grows thin. Tell us what you know.
This plan is foolproof.
I shall be the judge of that.
I discovered a way to control time itself. A power so strong, it can alter the events of the past, the present, and the future.
What is it?
Any of y'all ever heard of the sundial of Kronos?
The fabled sundial of the ancient god of time? How would you know of such ancient magic?
My friends on the other side, of course. They're all familiar with the underworld and its secrets.
The sundial of Kronos.
God of time. I assume you haven't gathered us here to discuss bedtime stories.
Back when the universe was new, there were only titans. Kronos, among the most powerful, was the god of time. He became obsessed with his power and altered time to bring about death and destruction.
Sounds delightful.
The powerful titan created the gods of Olympus. But he was petty, spiteful, and he wanted all his competition destroyed. One god fought back and defeated Kronos. The mighty Zeus.
You there! Do you understand a word of what he's saying?
It's all Greek to me.
After Zeus defeated Kronos, he imprisoned him. Some say he was locked away on Tartarus. Some say it was a cave of night. But they were wrong.
The sundial! He was...
Figure that out all by yourself, did you? The sundial gives the owner power to control time itself.
Nonsense.
I'll show you nonsense, old man.
Enough! This is quite a tale you spin.
If what you say is true, where is it? How do we find this dial? Step away from there.
The cards will tell. Ooh, it's at the Princess Academy.
Of course it is.
You mean our adversaries and their simpering friends have this power? How?
Hades wielded his power for a time, but when he was defeated, it was thought to be lost. But there was one person who knew of his location.
Who?
Hades' captive, Megara.
Or Meg, as she's more commonly known.
Zeus entrusted the sundial to Meg and ordered it sent to the Princess Academy to be kept safe.
We must kill her!
Off with her head! Patience. Retrieving such an item from a palace guarded by magic will require a bit more finesse.
What's that?
It will require skill, cunning, and expertise. All qualifications I readily possess.
Get that sundial, and we can control time with ease. 1, 2, 3. Revenge.
I assume you know how to unlock its power.
That's where me and my friends were at a loss. I was hoping one of y'all would know.
I knew he was a fraud.
I'm afraid your usefulness has come to an end.
Off with his head.
Ugh, it's starting to creep me out.
Something you find amusing?
This fool asks us to go to great lengths to procure an ancient mystical sundial and doesn't even know how to wield its power. How quaint.
It's a sundial. Perhaps the sun?
If only it were that easy.
I'm to understand you know how to use this dial?
Why, of course, Your Majesty. No, please, dear. Call me Your Highness.
How does it work?
The light of the sun moves time forward, so it would be safe to assume.
The light of the moon moves time backwards.
So the legend says. But for a deed this dark, we must violate the laws of nature itself. A blood moon.
It's too bad you can't do your magic-y thing and make a blood moon.
Any ideas?
Magic mirror, instruct this knave. Give him the answers he doth crave.
These women are nothing but trouble.
I quite agree.
How amusing. There'll be no need for mirrors. I have the power.
You?
But of course, my dear. All the forces of darkness are mine to command. Creating a blood moon is but a trifle for the mistress of all evil.
Let's get that dial.
We should strike immediately.
We mustn't draw attention to ourselves. If those princesses and their filthy friends discover our plan, they'll try to stop us. Best we take a more subtle approach.
I'll go get it. I was a princess once too, you know.
I said subtle.
We'll need to sneak in.
Disguise ourselves as princesses.
Well, you already have the dress.
I'll do it. I'm something of an expert in disguises. I'll get into that school and befriend this Meg.
And then what? Ask nicely.
Oh no, she's going to give it to me. And I've always said if you want something done right, do it yourself.
Mums and daddums taught me, do to others as they do to you. I
tried to be good and to do just as I should, but a burning inside of me grew.
As a lad, I was small and tiny. Kids would laugh and they'd call me names. They chose books, I chose looks, and then one by one, I hunted them down just for fun.
Oh, darling, what is this feeling that I tried to deny? I never thought that I could feel so alive.
Power and drive, it simply can't be denied. So indulge your darker side.
What is this feeling that's so dark and unknown? I feel it coursing through my veins and my bones. Now that I know, I swear I won't let it go. 'Cause being bad never looks so good. Ravishing, darling.
For a woman of my charm and beauty, it took years for me to reach my peak. I was forgotten, out of view, so I pondered, wouldn't you? Why was I never given my due? Something stirred inside of me.
A beast within I must set free.
A sense inside I can't explain. There's a rage I can't contain.
What is this feeling that I tried to deny? I never thought that I could feel so alive. Power and drive, it simply can't be denied. So indulge your darkest side.
What is this feeling that's so dark and unknown?
I feel it coursing through my veins and my bones. Now that I know, I swear I won't let it go. 'Cause being bad never looks so good.
Evening, y'all. Enchanté.
Where did you come from?
The shadows, of course. I heard y'all little song. Y'all done a lot to make bad look good. But I happen to know someone who's mastered Transformation Central.
What are you yammering about?
From beneath the waves and the sands down below, you can't fathom the depths that this secret will go. Extreme makeovers are part of her game. She went so far as to change her name into the queen from under the sea. Our guest has arrived. Take a look in your seat.
Nah. We wasn't lurking doorways.
It's real. I had a thirst that I couldn't deprive, a change for the worse that I couldn't deny. I played by the rules, but now I play the fools. The predator this time is me.
What is this feeling that I tried to deny? I never thought that I could feel so alive.
Power and drive, it simply can't be denied.
So indulge your darker side. What is this feeling that's so dark and unknown? I feel it coursing through my veins and my bones. But there's something inside me that I can't explain. A burning desire that drives me insane.
Being bad never looks so We've waited through spring, summer, and fall for the most wondrous season of all. Hearts sing with holiday cheer. It's the most magical time of the year. Outside the snow begins to fall, but warm inside we deck the halls. 'Cause on this magic night, our hearts unite beneath the wintry white. Friends come together as one, spreading good cheer to the old and the young. Bells ring, it's finally here. It's the most wonderful time of the year. With one wish on a star, kingdoms rejoice from near and from far. Hearts sing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful, it's the most glorious, it's the most magical, it's the most wondrous time of the year.
That was so much fun. Oh, I'm so happy to be here with you all and celebrate. What do you call it again?
The winter wishing solstice.
Yes, that! So you celebrate the fact that it's snowing?
Not exactly. You worship the snow?
It's more about our kingdom's annual tradition that takes place during the season.
It's the season of being together with the people you love. Everyone celebrates this time of year in their own special way.
And our special way is the winter wishing solstice.
This will be my first one! Mine too.
Winter signifies the end of the year, or a new beginning.
The beginning of a wishing star.
A wishing star?
Yes. All the kingdoms will come together to create a new star. One that will shine like a beacon of hope for all to wish upon.
I thought there was only one wishing star.
There's more than one, Silly.
That's true. There's so many kingdoms and realms that just one wishing star wouldn't be enough. So to make sure that everyone's wishes are heard,
We add a new one every year.
How do you make a star?
All of the kingdoms gather together to create a very special tree.
You mean you plant a tree, right?
No. Each of the kingdoms brings a piece of their own native tree to the festival.
Then, at the stroke of midnight, Merlin magically combines each of the kingdom's native branches into one glorious tree.
Everyone gathers around the tree and makes a wish for the new year.
Each wish becomes a light on the tree, and soon there are so many lights that the tree begins to glow and gets brighter and brighter until finally all the lights shoot up into the night sky and a new wishing star is born.
A celebration of togetherness. It'd be a shame if Merlin wasn't able to attend.
Well, perhaps that Poppins woman was right. Umbrella is a marvelous way to travel.
Magic mirror on the wall, on my command the snow will fall. With ice and wind I cast my spell. Alas! Grant me my wish as well!
My goodness, where did this storm come from? Fortunately, this wizard knows how to deal with a blizzard.
A wizard's hardly a wizard without his wand.
Now, move! Oh dear. Well, only one thing left to do now.
Is this normal? Elsa, are you okay?
I'm not doing this.
The celebration will be ruined.
What about Merlin?
He's a powerful wizard. I'm sure he'll manage through the storm.
But what if he can't?
We could always check to see.
Better safe than sorry.
Show me Merlin. Looks like he's stranded in the storm. He's looking for something. He's lost his wand.
He'll freeze to death. We need to help him.
I'll go. And I'm going too.
You can't. It's too dangerous.
The blizzard separated us before, and it's not about to separate us again.
Sure you don't need any help? I've seen my fair share of heavy snow.
We'll be fine. You all stay together and keep warm. We'll be back before you know it.
Take this. You'll find him faster.
Thank you.
Hey, Elsa, do you want to build a snowman?
Hilarious.
They slip away, we find again with loved ones on every Christmas day. It's the season of hope and the season of cheer. Memories that we cherish and celebrate each year. It's the love that we share even when we're apart. 'Cause what keeps us together is a holiday from the heart.
Special delivery!
My goodness, It's a bit blustery out there. No weather at all for a festival. Now, let's bring an end to this blizzard. What were those magic words? Bippity, but no. Higgidus, Figgidus, Alakazam!
Look, the storm, it stopped.
Oh, and look! All the kingdoms are arriving!
It's the season of hope and the season of cheer. Memories that we cherish and celebrate each year. It's the love that we share, even when we're apart. 'Cause what keeps us together is a holiday from the heart. 'Cause what keeps us together is a holiday from the heart.
For years I have waited and watched from the sides while others were given their dues. Overlooked and forgotten, my words cast aside. I did what I needed to do.
As a child, I learned that the world can be cruel, a game to which there are no rules. Thieves are forgiven and justice is blind, but this time the justice is mine.
The past is a story, it tells us all who we are. It robs us of glory and leaves us with nothing but scars. All I ever wanted was a life that was rightfully mine, to never place second in line, a time to thrive, not just survive.
All I ever needed was a moment to even the odds.
With power to revel the gods, the stars align to my design. It's all I ever wanted.
All of my life I have tried to be heard, but men only hear what they fear. Fate wasn't given, it's something I took. Now they have fear of the hook.
There was always a standard to which I was held, a fairness to which I was sworn. But life took a turn and the hard way I learned. Every rose has its thorn.
Cast to the outside, watching as others delight.
A thirst on the inside for darkness to conquer the light.
All I ever wanted was my time living life in the sun. When those fools all regret what they've done to me, they'll see that I'm not through.
All I ever needed was a moment to conquer my fate, to never be second to great, a world that's prime and mine to take. It's all I ever wanted.
Days turn to hours and hours to years. Hope becomes twisted and rooted in fear.
Balance and order are cast to the side.
Vengeance for justice that I've been denied.
All I ever wanted was a chance to even the score.
Why settle for less when there's more
to conquer all what came before?
All I ever needed was a slip in the balance of time,
to regain what's rightfully mine,
to change the end and start again.
It's all I ever wanted.
Someone will pay for this!
What the devil? What happened?
She failed.
Everybody just calm down.
Where is the sundial?
It wasn't there. Someone took it.
Taken? By whom?
Triton.
The Sea King?
Yes. He apparently sent someone to the Academy to retrieve it for himself. Whoever it was told Megara that the sundial needed to be protected from a great evil.
We've been thwarted again.
I must say, it's rather coincidental.
Too coincidental, perhaps?
I fear someone amongst us has divulged our plans. How else would Triton know?
A traitor!
Forgive me, but why would any of us sabotage our chance for revenge?
I tell you, this whole thing smells fishy.
Fishy?
You can't mean...
Ursula.
That is not possible.
Indeed. She was banished by the very people in this room.
I remember, well, sticking her tentacles where they didn't belong.
A collective effort on all our parts. Only with all our powers combined could she finally be imprisoned.
And the only way she could be released.
Blasted sea witch must have slithered her way out.
Impossible! The curse we placed on her was absolute!
All our powers combined.
What if I told you there was a way to undo the moment your troubles began?
Dr. Facilier, indulge me. An eye for an eye, a wrong for a wrong. A time reversal spell. Was it not?
You...
Blast and barnacles! I'll have your head for this.
Off with his
Head.
How dare you! Off with your head! We were merely pawns in your little game to release Ursula.
Never show all your cards. You lose the game.
Understand there are consequences to treason.
Treason? I offered y'all a chance to rewrite the past. Too good to pass up.
I commend you on your art of deception, Doctor. But I assure you the penalty will be severe. Going somewhere?
Something you wish to share with us?
You don't think I would go near that sea witch? Saltwater is terrible for your skin.
My dear woman, there's nothing better for the complexion than the salt of the sea air.
I don't think that proves your point. I'm just teasing. Stop taking everything so seriously.
Oh, darlings, I'm just here for the hors d'oeuvres. I know nothing about Facilier tricking all of you into releasing Ursula so she could get the sundial for herself. I'm just guessing, darlings.
What kind of world do we live in where you can't trust villains anymore? Shameful.
Why release Ursula? She is, after all, to blame for much of our misfortune.
Because we need her, Your Majesty.
Lies. The sea witch has tempted you with her lies.
Why send me on a fool's errand into that wretched academy if you knew where it was all along?
Because he thought it would be fun.
What is the meaning of this?
An uninvited guest, no doubt. Easily dealt with.
My dear girl, however did you manage past the lion and hyenas?
Indeed. Where did you come from?
From the shadows. Thank you, Shadow Man.
Allow me to demonstrate how spies are dealt with in Agrabah.
Oh, I wouldn't do that if you want to see that precious sundial again.
So the sea witch sends a mere girl to deliver a message. She must care very little for your life.
Ursula sent her. And why is a lovely creature such as yourself working for that hideous sea hag?
Quite lovely indeed. It must have been no trouble for someone such as yourself to steal that dial. I'm sure those imbeciles welcomed you with open arms.
You shall return to Atlantica and inform your mistress to surrender the sundial or surrender her life.
We'll make calamari out of her.
Oh, I love calamari. What's calamari?
A delicacy in noble circles, something of which you would be unfamiliar with.
You will inform Ursula that she will suffer more than banishment in our hands this time.
Why don't you tell her yourself?
cloggle me eyes.
And you said she was beautiful.
I must say, I much preferred your earlier permutation.
Where is the sundial, Sea Witch?
Safe and sound 20,000 leagues below. And that's where we'll stay until we make a little deal.
A deal?
Of course. You can't get something for nothing.
Such confidence, although foolishly placed.
Enough of this! Kill her! And lose your precious sundial? Besides, you rapscallions need me.
Need you? Ha! I wasn't aware of your fondness for jokes.
She's telling the truth. I had to have y'all free her for more than just a little reunion. I knew y'all wouldn't do it willingly, so I had to get a little creative.
You dare to...
Easy now. This is gonna take all of us to make it happen. Each one of you possess something that we're gonna need. But there's a little more to the story of the sundial that I forgot to mention.
Oh?
Only a direct descendant of a god can awaken its power.
That would make her
the daughter of Poseidon himself. So I suggest you swim in line with me or your little plan will fail. No revenge, no happy ending, zip. It's time Ursula took matters into her own tentacles. Destroy me? No, you should fear me. Your fate rests with me now. I've waited for years to have this moment. I've thought of the ways I'd make you pay. The tables are turned, the lesson is learned. Now I hold the key, 'cause only a fool underestimates me. And I, for an eye, a wrong for a wrong. Never forgive and never forget. This is your last regret. What goes around comes
We have a problem.
Out in the dark, if you listen, you'll hear the sound of your fate as the ending draws near. It starts as a whisper and soon it will grow, a warning that weaves through the wind as it blows. Like a story half untold, like a secret to unfold, waiting in the shadows, the hunter to prey.
Like a battle just begun, when it's neither lost nor won.
Hiding in the balance as time slips away.
Watching, waiting, anticipating, like a sun about to set. It's not over yet.
Destiny calls, something stirs from within.
A game to be played, so now let it be.
But yet the scale makes a long way to fall.
A sentence for life with no mercy at all.
Like a story half untold, like a secret to unfold,
Waiting in the shadows, the hunter to prey.
like a battle just begun, when it's neither lost nor won.
Hanging in the balance as time slips away.
Watching, waiting,
anticipating,
Like a sun about to set, it's not over yet.
I grow tired of these games. The Sea Witch must be dealt with for the last time. Threaten me? I am a queen. I bow to no one.
Ursula mentioned a deal. Perhaps we should discuss the terms.
I have no intention of making another deal with her.
What other option do we have? Only a direct descendant of a god can awaken the sundial's power.
Precisely. Which is why we need to make a deal with her. The longer we wait, the more danger we put ourselves in.
The Sea Witch is merely a descendant of a god. Perhaps then what we need is a god.
I've been right here the whole time. Huh?
Alas, the days when gods walked among us are long past.
Perhaps. But there was one that walked below us. The Lord of the Underworld himself, Hades.
Isn't he dead? Like, dead?
You know as well as any of us, we've all cheated death.
Some of us may have shed our mortal coils, but our souls were never lost, allowing us to return.
Yes. But Hades, his soul was devoured and lost to the river Styx.
I say we fish his soul out of the river like a codfish.
Perhaps a less primitive solution. There was once a king so cruel and evil that even the gods feared him. Since no prison could hold him, he was thrown alive into a crucible of molten iron. The Black Cauldron.
The hunt for ancient relics is exactly what placed us in this precarious situation to begin with.
The Black Cauldron. Legend says its magic can return the dead. This may be our token to retrieve Hades.
I must say, this sounds promising.
Perhaps you should take a few moments to reconsider. The Black Cauldron is complex and unstable. It consumed the king who wielded it last. Now it lies lost in time, its location shielded from the seekers of its powers.
We shall see. Magic mirror, show thy face. Reveal the cauldron's resting place.
Across the sea the cauldron lies, hidden under more of the skies. Its power sleeps but never dies. The Lord once lost within shall rise.
Morva, we must go there at once.
Once Hades is returned, perhaps he'll be inclined to repay the debt for his freedom.
A god indebted to us.
The idea has merit.
It all sounds well enough, but I'm afraid a sacrifice was made that rendered the cauldron useless.
And yet the mirror claims otherwise. Curious.
Curious indeed. Is it not the same mirror that named Snow White fairest of them all? Are we to believe that as well?
What are we waiting for? We must leave at once.
Yes. Time is running out, darling. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick.
Please, don't.
You've said nothing of the three witches who keep the cauldron well guarded.
Oh, more witches.
The witches can be a nuisance and elusive. The only way to get what you desire is to bargain with them.
I've got a bargain for them! Their lives for the cauldron!
The witches have placed a powerful spell of protection upon their land. Apparently, some pig boy stumbled upon it. Ever since, they've been very guarded.
No need for magic. What we need is pirating! I'll sail there myself.
And what of the witches when you arrive, dear Captain? How do you intend to get past them and retrieve the cauldron?
A distraction, perhaps. What if they aren't in Morva at all? We could invite them here. Offer them a bargain. We just need to entice them with something they can't resist wanting.
The mirror.
You'd sacrifice the mirror?
Of course not, fool. The mirror is precisely the bait we need. I'll send for them immediately. They dare not refuse an audience with their queen. The cauldron will be left unguarded.
A marvelous plan! It'll do me good getting back on the high seas. There is one teeny tiny problem.
Yes?
I have no ship. That blasted Peter Pan took it. If you can get me a ship, me crew and I will get you that cursed cauldron.
I believe I may have the solution to that particular obstacle. A prince arrived on a magnificent vessel only yesterday. A worthy suitor of one of my 2 daughters.
Poor devil.
What was that? His name is Prince Hans Westergaard of the Southern Isle. He's also a captain. Perhaps he can be motivated into a joint venture.
My dear, I have precisely the motivation needed for his cooperation!
It's settled then. I'll send for the Witches of Morva here for...
A party! Oh, that's marvelous. I'll get to it straight away. Food, guest list, music. Oh, it'll be the social event of the season. Let me help, darlings.
I think we've had all the help we require from you.
And I'll go in case you need some extra muscle.
I shall accompany the captain to Morva. I have no intention of leaving our fate in the hands of an imbecile, a crew of pitiful lackeys, or a traitorous furrier.
Me? Darling, you can't be serious. I've simply no time for a cruise, although I absolutely adore them.
You kept knowledge of our enemies' whereabouts from us. A punishable offense. Think of it as your penance.
You're welcome to stay. I'm sure you'll find the dungeons to your liking.
When do we leave, darlings?
What of the Sea Witch? She has command over wind and sea.
There is another wind coming that will sweep away her pride.
Like a story half untold, like a secret to unfold.
Waiting in the shadows, the hunter to prey.
Like a battle just begun, when it's neither lost nor won.
Hanging in the balance as time slips away.
Watching,
waiting,
anticipating.
Like a sun about to set, it's not over yet.
This is so unfair. I finally meet my Prince Charming and he's sailing away tomorrow. Tomorrow? Do you think that'll be enough time for him to admire my wit and charm? More than enough. Prince Hans! Of the 2 of us, who do you think is the most irresistible? Me. Or me?
Ladies, how is a man to choose between 2 such extraordinary creatures?
With your eyes closed. Surely it's a decision he can make when he returns triumphantly from the Queen's mission.
Look at you, Hansi! In town for a day and already have maidens fighting over you. I bet no girls ever turned you down.
Not exactly. Across the sea in the Southern Isles, the Westergaards live in exile. Our fall from grace was a long way down, so to make my mark, I would need a crown. I was 13th in line, so I had no shot, but a princess bride, now there's a thought. I had one chance, I knew I couldn't fail, so I set my sights on Arendelle. Your queen-to-be was meh, cold, but her younger sister was cute, sold. We met, we clicked, we sang and danced, then I thought, hey Hans, now here's your chance. I popped the question and she said yes, but now here's the part where it becomes a mess. Our wedding date was set, but then my bride takes off, and when she comes back, says meet Kristoff. She changed her mind, although God knows why, and I thought, there goes my alibi. Who dumps a prince? Sure, I'm insincere, but for some random guy who talks to reindeer?
Can't you hear my heart, please? She can't see what we see. It wasn't meant to be. Maybe now he'll choose me. No, me. After all you've been through, she doesn't deserve you. One thing that I know is true.
It's not me, it's you.
mean, did she think she was gonna do better than a prince?
Well, Mother says it's a sign of poor breeding when someone chooses a peasant over someone with grace and poise.
Yeah, which explains why no one wants you.
You're just jealous.
Am not.
Are too.
Ladies, stop bickering and pay attention to more important things. Like me. In a quiet little village in the south of France, I could make girls melt with a passing glance. I had trophies on the wall from the wars I won. And the widows afterwards? That was fun. Everything was perfect in my perfect life, but there was something missing, and that was a wife. She cooked, she cleaned me with the kids all day, then she called me perfect and do anything I said. There was only one choice for my wife to be. She was gorgeous, and everyone in town agreed. The only girl who didn't throw herself at me. What would you call that? Dignity! I said, Belle, good news, you're gonna be my bride. It's your lucky day, but there's one downside. The entire town thinks you're weird and strange, but I got it. All you have to do is change everything about yourself, and the town won't talk. Cause right now, your friends are a candle and a clock. She turned me down cause she disagreed. Then she threw me out and said she'd rather read.
Can't you hear my heart, please? She can't see what we see. It wasn't meant to be. Maybe now he'll choose me. No, me! After all you've been through, she doesn't deserve you. One thing that I know is true.
It's not me, it's you.
She sounds like a monster.
The monster suit she left me for. And you don't fall in love with monsters, you kill them. Yeah! So I got every villager with a torch and pitchfork to save her. Yeah! Which makes me a hero. I'm still the most admired man in the village. No, in all of France. Yeah!
Women certainly do have a strange way of showing their appreciation for their true heroes.
Yeah. I've always thought it best when I've had the choice that a woman should be silent and have no voice.
When a maiden with a mind meets a man with power, she must know her place or it all goes sour.
As men of wealth,
influence,
prestige.
Are we not all fine specimens?
Indeed. They think that love is blind and it can't be bought.
Yes, but that's a lesson and it can be taught.
Yeah, listen to the man and ignore the wife. That's the only way for a happy life.
The choice is simple. Choose me and thrive.
Or have it your way and be burned alive.
Well, what have we here? A gathering of men blaming a woman for all their woes. How innovative.
Once upon a time, a familiar story. A desperate king needed fame and glory. Had to be the hero for the world to see. He may have fooled everyone, but he didn't fool me. No one ever asked how he got that crown, or the woman by his side as he pushed her down. He would have to pay for his behavior, a baby gift with a little flavor.
The difference between you and me is now I'm living happily. I can't say I'm sorry, it just wasn't meant to be. After all we've been through, we can see a new view. One thing now we know is true.
It's not me.
It's not me.
It's not me.
It's not me.
How can it be me if the problem's you?
A single player and a pair of dice. My dear, if it's games you desire, then you need only ask to be the court jester. After all, you already have the hat.
How flattering. You, above all, would certainly know the qualities best suited for a fool. This game, however, does not concern you, Your Majesty.
Well, I suppose it depends on the game. You'll remember well that the queen is the most powerful piece on the board.
Powerful, perhaps, but not invincible.
Certainly more powerful than your knight in burlap sack you've had tucked away.
Knight? How quaint. Merely a pawn. Nothing a queen can't make short work of.
Enough! Why are you so eager to take this journey? I've never known you to be a volunteer.
Well, as an old monarch once said, If you want something done right, do it yourself.
And what might that be?
Oh, you've forgotten already. Why, to return the Lord of the Underworld, my pet. We really must have someone write this down for you.
To return Hades? And nothing more?
Could it be that the mighty queen is threatened?
Threatened by a wingless fairy. Let us not forget who restored you to the world of the living.
If it weren't for me, maybe think what if you would still be at the bottom of that cliff. Just a sad old tale, beaten and impaled, a pathetic relic, all because you failed. This is the story as I recall, so show some gratitude instead of attitude. That's all.
The story, yes, but a detail or two omitted. I imagine a woman of your age must have difficulty remembering.
True, I owe a debt, but let's not forget why you needed me to give you what you could not get. So go on, attack, I have what you lack. It was I, not you, that brought the villains back. So ask your mirror on the wall, who's the saddest or the baddest one of all? That's all. If by saddest you mean the one who follows orders, then I believe that title belongs to you. Yes, you brought them back under my command. It was I, not you, that had the master plan. Locked that witch away in a sea she'd stay, now unable to collect her debts from us to pay. Your debt, my debt, yes, it was our debt. Wrong again, my pet, with a single bite on a stormy night. 7 little men caught what you did to poor Snow White. Now you're off your throne, so I'd watch your tone. As I recall, you took a little tumble of your own. Well done, I'm sure that now you think you've won this fight, but alas, you forget I survived that night. Not quite. In the sea you drowned, but the sea witch found an opportunity and brought you back to solid ground. Quite the find she made, for your life she'd trade the Sea King's crown, a deal that you betrayed. That's rich, now let's talk about the deal you made. There was once a king who had found his bride, but a winged green fairy the kingdom denied. Stephen's love you lost, so the sea you crossed, a deal for a sleeping curse your wings it cost. Spare me your high and mighty and your goal, 'cause I'm the ruler, you are nothing but the fool. That's all. You're the one to blame, no denying it. You're responsible and yet you are defying it. Now you've made your bed so you can lie in it. You just need me for someone to blame. Now let's not forget, if it weren't for me, why you needed me to give you what you could not get. It's just a washed up hack. I have what you lack. It was I. No, I brought the villains back. This is the